Hi, and welcome to the Trooper Report. My name is Mia Gomez, and I'm here with our special guest, Coach Lopez. First of all, I want to welcome you here today, and I want to congratulate you on a great start to your season. And I think I speak from everyone here at Eastwood when we say you've done a great job. So, the first question I want to ask you today is, what are your thoughts on last Friday's game versus Parkland?
Well, first of all, Mia, thank you for having me on and for the kind words. Last Friday was really exciting. It was special simply because we had everybody back. I mean, the environment here, I think we would all agree, a game day at Eastwood is unlike any other. It really is the best game day environment in El Paso, and I would argue one of the best in the state. So Friday was great to see the stands filled, the student section. Obviously, we started a little bit slow, so I'm sure everybody was a little nervous in that first half. But the boys picked it up. The second half we came out sharp, and we finished the game, really like we should, and we obviously came out on top against a really good Parkland team.
I think that's great. And kind of touching on the same subject, and what are your thoughts on the Hanks game for tomorrow?
Yeah, it should be exciting. Obviously we're not playing Bel Air this year, but if you ask any of the younger Eastwood alumni, Eastwood Hanks used to be a really big rivalry until they moved down, and obviously the game hadn't happened for a couple of years until last year. So, we're excited. It should be a good test. We really, for us, we're focused on what we're doing. We want to come out sharp tomorrow. We want to come out and execute the way we know we should, because we only have two more games left before the real games count with district. So, again, for us, we're just excited at another chance to play football in front of a crowd and the band and the Trooperettes and cheer and all of our student section on the road. And again, it should be a fun night.
And I know personally, I'm really excited to see the game, and I think everybody else here at Eastwood is too. Do you feel any pressure being ranked as a top team in El Paso by El Paso Times?
You know what? For us, it's definitely not pressure. When we got hired in 2015, that was the goal. I mean, and like I told the kids before, when you come to Eastwood, and specifically in our program, that was the goal when we got hired. It was to be the number one team in the city. It was to be respected as the number one team in the city. And we understand with that comes responsibility and a big target. And we're going to get everybody's best game. But, to answer the question, no, we don't feel any added pressure. We take it week by week. We take it game by game. And as long as we keep that same mentality, I think we'll be okay.
And I think it's a great honor, and I think it's a really well-deserved honor, too. What areas do you think your team can still improve on going into districts in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, we just got to execute. We started off slow last week. We shot ourselves in the foot. We had way too many penalties. We didn't execute at times in the red zone. We had a missed field goal, a turnover, big turnover on the first drive. Obviously, the second half was a completely different story because we looked sharp and obviously, outscored them 28-6 in the second half and did what we needed to do. But for me, it's just a matter of starting fast. Especially as we get closer to district, you don't want to put yourself in a hole like that going in at halftime. You want to start the game fast, put the pressure early, and that's what I want to see tomorrow. I want to see us execute at a high level and do what we know how to do.
Right. Next question I have for you is, going into the next weeks in the San Antonio game, what's the mindset into scheduling big time programs like Smith Sun Valley?
Well, one of our goals, and no El Paso team has ever won a state title in football. That's definitely one of our goals. And that might sound crazy. That might sound like, well, nobody's done it. How can you do it? But I do feel that a part of that is when you play out-of-town opponents in big games in the playoffs, there's a factor there where, you kind of lose the game a lot of times with El Paso teams. You lose the game before it even starts because you're intimidated or, the environment, or you just don't feel like you can actually beat that team. So for us, scheduling a Smithson Valley, a Plano a couple years back, South Lake Carroll the next 2 years, it's just part of the process. It's part of the process. It's a chance for our kids to explore a different part of the state, to play top level competition across the state, and again, promote our brand as Eastwood. When you go to San Antonio and play, when you go to South Lake Carroll and play, they know the Eastwood Troopers. They know who we are. We go up there, and obviously the goal is to win. It's not just to go up there, but that's really the mindset behind scheduling these big games, is to put ourselves in a situation where we see top level competition that'll help us later on, hopefully in the postseason.
And I think you guys will do a great job of setting a great example for Eastwood when you go. And the last question I have for you today is, what is your favorite memory at Eastwood so far?
That's a really good question and really hard to answer because we've had a lot of great memories over the years. I'll tell you though, for me, my favorite memory wouldn't be just one memory, but the memories we have of my kids growing up here at Eastwood. And I say that because when we got hired in 2015, my son was 1. My daughter Peyton hadn't been born yet. Taylor hadn't been born yet. She came 2 years later. And so now here we are in year 7. And when I look back on all the years and the pictures and my kids literally growing up at Eastwood, growing up on the field, growing up coming to lower level nights and Friday nights after games and team dinners and coming to pep rallies and burning in the E. For me, it's been a lot of fun for me and my wife and our kids. to grow up in such a great community, for them to grow up in such a great community, and all the memories that we've made over 7 years have just added up to a really special run here for us.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Coach. It was an honor to have you here with us. And from everyone here at EPAN, best of luck on your season.
Thank you for having me. Go Troop.